Here's the first video of Class 8 History, Chapter 8, Women, Caste and Reform. Children, in present time, it's not a surprising thing that girls go to schools and often study in co-educational schools. Many girls get higher studies and take up jobs after that. They marry after the legal age of marriage and can marry anyone they like, and widows can remarry too. Women can vote and contest in elections. However, poor people do not have much access to education, and not all families give liberty to women to choose their husbands. Still, women have a lot of freedom. But children, if we look at the Indian society 200 years ago, things were very different. Child marriage was very common. Both Hindu and Muslim men could marry more than one wife. Widows were treated as outcasts. The barbaric act of sati, that is the burning alive of women on the funeral pyre of their husbands, was practiced, and such widows were highly appreciated. Women did not have right to inherit their father's property. That means they did not get any share in it. Most women did not have access to education. They were discouraged from attending schools and colleges. It was believed that if a woman was educated, she would be unwilling to do household work or obey her husband. It was also believed that if a woman was educated, she would become a widow. The differences were not only between men and women, but the society was also divided on the basis of caste divisions. In this division, Brahmins and Kshatriyas considered themselves as upper castes. Traders and merchants, who were referred to as Vaishyas, were placed after them. Peasants and artisans such as weavers and potters, who were referred to as Shudras, were placed after the Vaishyas. Then there were people who did all the work that upper castes considered polluting or dirty, such as cleaning toilets, washing clothes, burning or cremating the dead, sweeping the streets and skinning dead animals. They were placed at the lowest rung and were treated as untouchables. Their entry into upper caste houses, temples, hospitals and other public places were prohibited. They were not allowed to draw water from the wells used by the upper castes. Then people started debating and discussing about such customs and practices, especially from the early 19th century. And it was because of the printing presses that came up in different parts of the country. Books, newspapers, magazines, leaflets and pamphlets were printed and available cheaply to all. In this way, even the ordinary people could read them and could also write and express their views in their own languages. Social, political, economic and religious matters were discussed among people. These discussions reached out to more number of people and were connected with the several movements aimed to bring change in the society. Various reformers of the 19th and early 20th century were responsible for awakening of the people of India. They were referred to as reformers because they believed that changes in the society were required and wrong practices should be abolished or stopped. And this could be done by urging and convincing the common people to leave old and wrong practices and adopt new ways of life. One such social reformer was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He was born in a Bengali family in 1772. His greatest achievement was the founding of the Brahmo Sabha in Calcutta, which was later known as the Brahmo Samaj. Ram Mohan Roy encouraged the study of English and firmly believed in the advantages of Western education. He wished to improve the position of women in society through greater freedom and equality for women. In his writings, he expressed his concern for the women that they were forced to do all the household tasks, limited to home and the kitchen, and not allowed to get education. Ram Mohan Roy was particularly concerned about the problems that widows faced in their lives. He began a persistent struggle against the practice of sati. He had a great knowledge of Sanskrit, Persian, and many other languages of India and Europe. So he used his knowledge of ancient texts to convince people that the practice of sati had no sanction in ancient texts. By the early 19th century, many British officials had also started criticizing unjust Indian traditions and customs. Ram Mohan Roy persuaded the British government to abolish the practice of sati. Eventually, the British Governor General Lord Bentinck banned sati in 1829. Giving reference of the ancient texts to challenge an evil or harmful practice became a strategy for the other social reformers as well. They used a verse or sentence from the ancient sacred texts to support their point of view. They proposed that the customs and traditions as they were practiced at that time were against the earlier ancient traditions. For example, another famous reformer, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who was a great Sanskrit scholar, he started a favor of widow remarriage. He used the ancient text to support his point of view. Due to his untiring efforts and suggestions, the British passed the Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. However, he had to face the extreme anger and opposition of the Orthodox Indians, who even boycotted him. Despite of all odds, this movement in favor of widow remarriage gained momentum, and by the second half of the 19th century, it spread to different parts of the country. For example, Veera Salingam Pantulu formed an association for widow remarriage in the Telugu speaking areas of Madras Presidency. Many young reformers and intellectuals in Bombay also pledged themselves to work for widow remarriage. In North, in 1875, Swami Dayanand Saraswati founded an organization to reform Hinduism. This organization, called Arya Samaj, also supported widow remarriage. However, it was not an easy task to bring change in the mindset of the people. And therefore, even after the Widow Remarriage Act and social reformers movements for widow remarriage, the number of widows who actually remarried was very low. The conservative society did not approve the new law and did not easily accept those widows who remarried. That's all in this video. The remaining part of the chapter will be covered in the next video of this chapter. Till then, solve these questions. The first question is, write a short note on caste-based division of Indian society about 200 years ago. Second question, what did Raja Ram Mohan Roy do to end the practice of sati? Third, what strategy did the social reformers adopt to change the unjust old practices? Fourth question, give an account of the movement that spread in different parts of the country in favor of widow remarriage. Did the movement get success? Children, if you found this video helpful and wish to watch more of such content, do consider subscribing to the channel, and for any queries or comments, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you.